it's new car season. At the end of a year, that's when car manufacturers start releasing cars models for the next year. I cannot understand for the life of me why someone would go out and get a loan on a car when they also believe that Uber and Lyft are paying less than they were before. Please do not make a huge financial investment into anything that you think is going to be start paying you less. And it feels like that's obvious to say, but the habits of what I'm seeing, it's not. And I get it. I've been in a scenario where I've walked into a car dealership and I walked out with a brand new car. When I woke up that morning, I had no intentions of buying a car. You know, like you go and you take it for service. They tell you it's going to be $3,000 to fix it. And in your mind, the first thing you say, well, I can't afford $3,000 to fix it, but I can afford a $700 car payment. That's the average car payment. I didn't make it up. I promise you that's the average car payment. And you know, trucks are probably included in that, and you shouldn't be using a truck for Uber and Lyft. So let's say $500, but you really can't. You can afford it under best case scenario, and as soon as worst case scenario happens, it hurts. You can't afford it anymore, and things happen. And some of that lack of foresight causes people to. The best way it's been put is when I feel pressured and I have to make a decision, I'm gonna make a worse decision than if I weren't pressured. That's the best way I can put it. So I just wanted to interject here. I just want to say, listen, guys, whatever you can do to avoid buying a brand new car, just don't do that. Period. Don't do that. Unless you're like a millionaire, I don't think you should be buying brand new cars. And then two, this is a philosophy I apply to my life. I know not everyone's gonna listen, but for those of you who will, don't use that. Not even to buy a used car. Have the foresight to start saving. Have the foresight that my car is making noises. Let me start putting some money aside. And even if it dies, and you know you still don't have enough to buy a decent used car, you'll still have something. You'll be in a better position. I've only kind of been here for like 2 years. Here being in a financial space where I'm not borrowing money, not using debt. I'm trying to pay off debt. I haven't always been like this. I was really bad with my money. I was always great at earning money. I was never great at handling my money. And I have, as I review my life over the last 2 years, the thing like I can say, oh my God, if I had the same financial accounting that I had in the past when this thing happened, it would have hurt. Last year I got married in September. That year I had to replace the roof. Insurance didn't want to cover it. And so it was gonna be like 10 grand to replace the roof. I had to replace my HVAC unit. My wife can't deal with heat. And so that became the number one priority, which is fine. And I also had a wedding. And I was not taking out debt for a wedding. I wasn't taking out debt for any of these things. And even if we didn't, like for some of these, like while we were saving for the wedding, that's when the HVAC went out. That's when we had to get the roof replacement. And we got real lucky with the roof. Some guy came, knocked on our door, and he was like, hey, yeah, our insurance went bankrupt. And then the company we were with were like, if you don't fix your roof, we're not going to insure you anymore. So this guy comes along and he lets us know that there's government funding for people who have had companies that went bankrupt, and like they'll take care of it. So yeah, we didn't have to pay the 10 grand for the roof. We had to pay the deductible, which was almost 3 grand. And we had to fix the HVAC. We had to not fix the HVAC. We had to replace the HVAC, which that was like almost, I think it was like, it was, I don't remember what it was specifically. I don't want to get on here and lie to you guys. And it was in the middle of one, trying to pay off debt, and two, saving up for a wedding. Our wedding ended up costing about 12 grand. Very frugal. We did a very great job. And my favorite part of the wedding, when it was all over, it was just me and my wife sitting in the living room. It was when we were able to breathe. And then we started talking about how, you know, people who might have taken out debt for the wedding, they wouldn't have been able to breathe. That moment that we had where we were able to just let go and breathe, other people might not have had it. So, you know, when I'm reviewing the things that have happened to us financially, even the car accident, I'm not. I need to make that video explaining the full process, but I've already revealed that my car was totaled, it's gone, and I did not have to wait for insurance to give me money because we had enough money saved out to where I can go on Facebook Marketplace, look at all these cars, and if I found a really good deal, I could jump on it because we had that money. If I were living how I was living before, not financially being aware, I'd be I don't know where it would be. We probably would have lost the house. We probably wouldn't have insurance. I probably wouldn't be able to do Uber and Lyft if we're being honest. But because I'm trying to improve my financial situation, like in the act of trying, it puts you in a better position to where if you didn't try at all.